I'm going to be talking about innovating the show floor. So let me give you a brief history about how I got to where I am. I went to the University of Maine and I got a bachelor's degree in computer science, graduating in 2016. I had the pleasure of working as a programmer at the VEMI lab from 2014 until I graduated in 2016. And before working at the VEMI lab, I knew that I loved programming and I knew that I loved design, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And while working at the VEMI lab, I got tasked with working on a wide variety of projects, my favorite of which were the ones that I got to integrate different augmented and virtual reality peripherals into the projects. I was getting hands-on experience with projects that I felt were making a real-world difference, and that was something I wasn't really getting from the classroom. Over my time at VEMI, I fell in love with creating interactive projects, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And what do you know? Now I am an interactive developer at Helios Interactive. I've worked here since January of 2017. What we do at Helios is we focus primarily on making brand experiences for companies to show at different conventions like SemiCon and InfoComm. And we try to use virtual and augmented reality to create these experiences that people will get people talking about your brand, get them excited to come to your booth, and it's really been great. So what I'm going to focus on talking about is how virtual reality is changing business conventions for the better, and how we've been using that in this past 2 years. So one of the biggest problems at a convention is getting people to come to your booth. How do you get your booth to stand out above all others? How do you get people excited and talking about your brand? And so we use virtual reality to create experiences that people can come to your booth and really remember and enjoy. Here, we partnered with Samsung to create a virtual reality spacewalk, which put the user in outer space and allowed them to control their extravehicular mobility unit, which is a fancy term for spacesuit. And they were able to sit down and enjoy a 3-minute walkthrough of flying around the space station. People that left this experience would smile ear to ear and bring back their friends, and they'd wait in line, and that's really something special that we find that virtual reality is bringing more and more of. This experience is something that we call mixed reality because it offered 2 different views. There was the virtual reality view, which the person sitting in the chair with the joysticks would experience. They'd be able to finesse their way around the space station. And the second view was a third-person view, which you can see there in front of the person, which was projected for people that were in line and walking by, and people that would walk by and see this would stop in their tracks and then go wait in line to see their experience. It's really great, and more companies are trying to get on the bandwagon of doing such. Around the corner from this, we had a virtual reality live stream, which people could go and sit down at and put on a Samsung VR headset and instantly be transported to center stage, where there were live music performances and people talking throughout the day. And in the future, they plan to offer this exact experience online, so anyone with a virtual reality headset will be able to tune in into the convention in a whole new way. It's really bringing a new layer of connectivity to events around the world. Companies really want to show off what they've been working on. And sometimes this isn't always possible to do at a convention. Sometimes their product is just too big or too dangerous to bring to the show floor. So we create virtual reality projects that allow them to do this hassle-free with no worry at all. And so here we had created a fighter jet experience where the user was able to point at different parts of the jet and get a different walkthrough. A voiceover would tell them why this model was better than previous year's model, and it would really keep them engaged, and they were able to step in the cockpit and see what it would be like. And salespeople found this was an invaluable tool in keeping the guests engaged, because showing them videos and pictures of your product only goes so far. Seeing it in person really is exciting and engaging. In another project, we worked with an industrial-sized printing manufacturing company whose newest technology could print billboard-sized posters in record time. And for them to be able to show this off at different places, they would have to spend a ridiculous amount of money and time disassembling, porting, finding a space to reassemble it, and then doing such. So we partnered with them and created a virtual reality experience which allowed anyone to step into this printer, find virtual paper loaded into the correct compartment, find ink loaded into the tank, and then select a picture, and it would run through the printing process 100% mechanically correct. They could watch the paper go through from start to finish, just as if they were right next to the actual machine. They were super happy with this because instead of having to rent loading trucks and everything, they were able to pack it up in a suitcase and bring it wherever they went. We've worked with a hotel franchise to create a tool which allows them to show potential franchise owners different models of hotels that they're able to build. And before, they would show blueprints or videos or actually have to bring the customer physically to an existing place to show them what it would look like accurately. And what we've done is we partnered with them to create a tool that allows guests to step into the virtual space, walk through the apartment or hotel, and mark different parts, what they didn't like, what they did like, and at the end, they could print this off and make it into an official request. This has completely changed how they're doing business and collaborating with customers to come up with orders. In the past, they found it was really hard to get something that would satisfy all parties because sometimes the 3D model doesn't correctly show something they're looking for or something. With this, you can actually walk up to any part of it in 360 degrees and look at it from any angle. It's really been revolutionizing the game. We use this technology to plan booths as well. Helios's parent company, Freeman, is one of the largest event marketing and management companies in the world. And they've always struggled with coming up with a booth plan with their customers that will satisfy everyone because they're limited on space, they're limited on resources, and can only do so much. And so we've taken this exact software and made it so they're able to make a 3D model of the booth that they're planning, give it to their customers, and they can hop in virtual reality and walk through and figure out what they do and don't like, come up with a list, and like I said, make it into an official request at the end. And it's really been revolutionizing how they've been collaborating with their customers to make all parties happy. So I just want to say that the lab really encouraged me to get my hands dirty and work with all sorts of hardware that I didn't even know existed. And through my time there, I picked up the skills that really allowed me to step into the role that I'm at now confidently and succeed. And I really just want to thank the VEMI Lab for everything that you guys have done for me throughout my college career. Questions? RJ.
So do you do programming or modeling? I know there's a post-processing there. Do you do all that stuff or just a subset?
So I do everything except modeling. So I take the models and I make them work. I make the post-processing, everything look nice, and all the interactivity stuff is me. We work with really talented 3D modelers who produce all the models that you saw in our demos.
Is there any